Hello everyone, I am your host Rajesh Wag welcoming you to Pharmaceutical Live. Hope I am audible as well as visible. And today we are back with one more session on career guidance. Earlier we were discussed about important career insights of pharmacovigilance, production, regulatory affairs, and F&D with experts from those particular fields. Those who are unable to attend those sessions can actually see recordings available on our YouTube channel. But today, we shall learn about industries which have more potential to grow than it seems. And the best part of it is that you have more chances of starting your own ventures through new product development and research. And we all know that today we are going to learn about opportunities in herbal and nutraceutical sectors. And most of here are from pharma and cosmetic backgrounds. So you all know about herbal and nutraceuticals, right? But are you aware about those industries? Do you name big firms? Actually, here are very few known industries, just like Patanjali, Jhandu, Baidyanath, Himalaya, etc. But do you aware that there are about 8,000 plus, somewhere around 8,600, more than that, licensed small and mid-scale manufacturers are there in India. And Ministry of AYUSH is working with full potential to exhibit roadmap for herbal sector, which has huge demand not only in India but also in Western countries. Also, India has a strong based traditional knowledge on herbal medicine, and we have vast plant biodiversity, has a great potential in this sector. Also, you may be surprised that global nutraceutical ingredient market was valued somewhere around 150 billion in 2019, and it will going to grow more than 228 billion by 225. So there is lots of opportunities are there in these sectors, and we have such a personality with us who will guide us to understand these sectors. He is like a guru to me also. He is very active in research along with academics. I am talking about Professor Dr. Sanjeev Acharya sir. He has 18 years of rich experience in research and academics. He has worked as a principal scientific officer at Guj Coast DST Government of Gujarat. He has also worked as president R&D at K Patel Phytoextraction. He worked in Nirma University and now working as principal SSR College of Pharmacy Silvassa and providing services to Net Bio Specialty Healthcare also. He has handled many research projects from DBT, ISRO, Guj Coast, and pharmaceutical industries, and he has also received many international and national awards. So, such a well-known personality, such a well-known expert is joining with us. He will be joined with us in few moments, but before that, again, I am just wants to tell our audience that you can just share this link with your friends or colleagues so they can also attend this webinar. They can join us live. If they have any queries, we will also have a Q&A at the end. So they have any queries regarding this field, they can also ask that. Okay. So there you go. I am connecting with you with Dr. Sanjeev Acharya sir. Hello sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Rajesh.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, sir. Now screen is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, good morning, all the friends, all the streaming partner at Pharma Tutor, and all students, colleagues, professional friends. Thank you, Rajesh, for introducing me, and it was really a great opportunity that you've given to introduce myself with this my thoughts on this we can say nutraceutical industry and how this industry is working. This is a very favorite topic of me, and little bit since many years we are working on this. So we know a little bit crux of this industry with herbal cosmetic, because this is a very complex industry. So I will start a little bit on my like we can say a current affair, and on the basis of the current affair, how this industry is a potential for the we can say future 5 to 10 years. That is the interest to put upon today amongst all the audience who is listening me. Uh, the topic we have selected is the opportunity in herbal and nutraceutical sector. So you can understand this is taking care of two sides. One is the herbal and nutraceutical. They are not the same one, but yes, I can say nutraceutical is much more broader in perspective. I think my screen is properly visible. Rajesh, is it my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
It
thank you.
is visible.
So, okay, thank you very much. So now, if you see the current status of pandemic, which we all are facing today, and that is the reason that today most of the webinars are being like conducted, and we see that now after this new, we can say, technology arrived, most of us has felt that the distance does not mind. Earlier there is a physical presence is required, but now the online softwares and online tools have enabled us that we can talk everything without any we can say limitation of the distance. So if you see total pandemic condition, I have kept two photograph. You can see one is in April 3rd 2020 at 6 a.m. and another is on 19th June, we can say almost yesterday I can talk. So the condition of the pandemic we can say created due to COVID-19 is we can say clearly visible, that the yellow and light yellow zones are very prominent in our April talk, and today we don't find them, so they are all red zones. So this is indication that how this disease has progressed in last we can say 1 2 months, or we can say two and a half months. So this is self indication that the conditions are very we can say alarming, and human as a species we felt first time in the history of our existence, because we have heard that there is influenza in 1918 to 1920, but for us as our generation, this is the first time as a human we feel somewhere depressed, we feel somewhere we can say constraintful, that we are not able to fight against the condition which is created by the nature. But yes, there are like we can say what is the havoc condition created. If you see, I'm comparing this, I'm going towards little bit what economically this has affected. And if you see in a global perspective that the highest we can say economical uh, uh, slowdown we are observing in India, Brazil, and Eurasia zone, because we are predicting that we will have a 9% -9% growth rate for particular, because we are high growth country in comparison to China, because China is almost created but almost now is lowest in economical we can say slowdown. However, the countries which are like that is a overall global we can say GDP we can say we talk, then it is -7.7 for this year, and this is very alarming for the economic conditions of the world. At the same time, if I'm talking about the industry who are facing this crisis, then we can say 39% unemployment we have observed in case of hospitality and hotel business, because that now if you talk anyone is going to hotel is only compulsory, it is not going for the leisure. At the same time, we can observe education and health services also got almost 11% unemployment. So the conditions are showing us that this is a negative side of our we can say world, and this is alarming to us, that if such condition arises in future also, then how to handle that. That is also one very important aspect all of us has to thought of and has to think of. Now, in this case, if you see this slowdown, minus we can say 32% overall, people are saying as a annual growth point of view. Like if you have income of X, and today if you are calculating, pessimistic people are saying that you will lose -32% this year. So if you are less than -32, then worry. Otherwise, it's fine. You are in a global average. And if you are going with the optimistic approach, people are saying that you will get a slowdown of your economical balance sheet by 13%. But that's a different story. I'm talking of next slide is very important, that very interesting, that this is creating what, that this has created the highest we can say possibility of again the below the poverty line due to the COVID-19. If you talk about the COVID-19, why I'm putting it like that, because when we talk about herbal and nutraceutical, we have to talk this first. The reason is projected poverty in South Asia, where we are majorly available. People have said that South Asia, like India and Africa, is the minimum affected by the COVID, but I say that it is maximum affected by the COVID-19 episode due to the most of the people were marginally covering their above the poverty line, and because of this condition, 15.6% population is going to be under the we can say again the poverty line. So it is almost keeping us again 4 5 years back what we were. So this is again affected to the Africa, that is almost 22, and least affected if we see the North America, that is only 0.1%. The America is at present, if you see, highest affected by the COVID-19, but as far as their day-to-day affair, we can say the poverty line where the people index is concerned, it does not affect it too much to their population. In the same way, when we talk about the only one sector which has grown, and that is why I'm coming to that pharma and nutraceutical, why we talk on this ground, that pharma is only the condition where in this particular pandemic it has sustained, and that too at the rate of 14%. So this is the, we can say, one good side, and one we can say alarming side, that essential services point of view, pharma cannot be ignored, or we can say food, pharma, paper, tobacco, and chemicals. These are the only sectors which has on a positive side in this scenario of pandemic. Otherwise, all the sectors have completely, we can say, they have been under the dearth of we can say negative growth. So I'm putting this onto forward, and I'm going towards that why we talk about global healthcare, because I'm keeping the food and pharma together. And if we talk that food and pharma together, then global healthcare is the old data, but the interesting part is that the traditional medicines are growing at a very, very faster rate, but at a smaller volume. So you can say this is a bubble chart, and if you observe that in bubble chart, this is the very interesting showing of that positive part of 2012 to 15. This is little early, little old data, but this is giving clarity that it is growing at the 22 to 24%. And if you talk about pharmaceutical, it is growing at a little bigger bubble, so it is volume wise very high, but it's growing at around 4 to 6%. So now we have to understand there are so many other factors like soft drink, bakery, core nutraceutical. I'm talking core nutraceutical is growing again 6 to 8, which is now predicted 12% in 22% in Indian context. And we will go for this is just for idea that how the entire industry is being like seeing as a healthcare point of view. At the same time, when I'm talking pharma is boosting that Indian point of view, Indian context we talk, then we have seen that the US FDA, we have the highest one. If you see the Indian share in approved ANDA approvals in US FDA data, it is showing up from quarter 1 of 2018 to quarter 20 of last year, like we said, Q1 quarter, we are almost keeping the average above 35%. So this is a indication that overall in a global perspective, this is pharma. I will say pharma is only one sector which is fighting against the MNC pressure. Indian pharma industries are fighting against the MNC pressure. Otherwise, you see many of the we say block China or go China. These all are the different movements we are doing it. But if you talk about the one industry which is fighting very prominently with the multinational, then is the one we can say we can proud of that is the Indian pharma industry. At the same time, we have less. This is ANDA. We don't have so much filings of our new drug approval, but that's a different story because that will take some time because that is a huge investment required. So if you see same way in another ladder, if we talk about that when we have so many such applications, definitely 483 is also increased and that is going up around 780 per 2019. So it is indication that US FDA is asking and doing so many inspections, and that is why global point of view regulatory pressure is increasing. And this is one of the negative part that Indian pharma industry is continuously under the stress of the audit. If you ask any one of the pharma guy, he will always say that I am under the stress of audit at any moment of time. MHRA, US FDA, and Visa, there are 100 type of audits are going on, and you are working in between the audits like the situations is overall in the context. And I'm putting for nutraceutical in the different part in that regard that it has not that much audit pressure compared to what we are observing in the pharmaceutical. So from this point, I am going towards the we can say these are the certain pipelines, the how big pharma industries are working on this. Now we are coming to the how nutraceutical and pharma to be considered in understanding this. There are three major segments in the world, and that's a major understanding everyone has to do. that one is the side of a nutrition, which we do talk about the conventional and food sector. Another is the side where we say pharmaceutical sector, and third side is the personal care sector. In this, if you observe, the intersection is indicating us that which sector we are working on. And in intersection of nutrition and pharmaceutical, the product look like pharma, but has the benefit like a nutrition. That products like vitamins or herbal supplements, or they are more towards the preventive and wellness purpose, they are termed as nutraceuticals. So they are an intersection, or we can say fusion product. I will say the word more appropriately is the fusion product. At the same time, when we talk about personal care and the pharmaceuticals, the cosmeceuticals is a very emerging branch in a cosmetic, and many cosmetic industries are working on a we can say efficacious cosmetics rather than inert cosmetics. And that particular quasi we can say approach, which is the intersection between personal care and the pharmaceutical, is the cosmeceuticals. And at the same time, when we say nutrition and personal care, it is a nutri cosmetics, which is again a very emerging industry, growing in a very faster rate. And that's also a branch where which is a newly developed, like we can say after 90s. So in this section, I want to say that this is a fusion product. The market is of the fusion product. Like earlier, we were using mobile for calling, but today we are using mobile actually for the camera, not for the calling. Or we have internet speed, or we have a RAM, and we have like the specifications are changed. Why? Because that become a fusion product. Now, mobile earlier when it was introduced, no one has thought that once upon a time it will replace the computer or laptops also. Similarly, if you see this pharma and healthcare sector, these all fusion products are growing little bit faster, and we can see that within a 5 to 10 years, we'll have many such products which will be we can say dominating in the market, and that's the reason we are talking today on this sector. So if you talk about the overall growth cycle, I think global pharma industry, we have seen it is growing at 3.1 to 4%, 3 to 4%. At the same time, the nutraceutical and we can say herbal as a whole, we can say nutraceutical is a broader term, is growing almost at the 7.2%. But this is again a data which is predictive. This data is already now more than 8.5% as per the recent data what has came for 2020. So when we talk about nutraceutical, we have to understand that where we focus, why, what to develop. We actually focus on the wellness of the being, and it will be, we can say, the people if they have a cancer, and there is a, like we can say, the society which we say present in earlier slide. You have seen around 40-45% burden on the pharma today. What is growing very fast is on cancer or anti-cancer drugs. At the same time, if I am developing a good wellness product which will prevent the cancer, definitely it will be reducing the disease burden on the society. So the concept is completely different. Here, the concept is to reduce the disease burden on the society. Like we can say, diabetes, once there, people are with diabetes forever. For example, hypertension, once there, people are there with the hypertension forever. For example, cancer, the chances of survival is very less. So these are the all conditions which are growing, that all are creating disease burden, and it is affecting a economy very highly. And we can say 16% of the total GDP, or total we can say uh, amount of the we can say revenue which is in US is being spent on the healthcare. This self is that too with the insurance sector and everything. So this is the indication that if you want to reduce that particular disease burden, only the option you have is to work on the wellness part. And this is, we say, it is enhancement, treatment, and prevention, and wellness is covering all three together. And that's the concept of the nutraceutical world is looking at. It is coming under OTC product or FMCG industry. So I just want to give you the idea that like cosmetics are also coming under the OTC and FMCG product, and this nutraceutical is also coming under the FMCG or OTC product. So you can understand many a time these products are not governed through the prescription market. It is going with the consumer's awareness towards the disease, or it is going as per the consumer's willingness to make him free from disease, or make him more aware about his health. And that's growing. That people have now noticed, and that is why I've kept that this is coming under the fast moving consumer goods. If you talk about overall wellness industry, or we can say wellness economy, is very big. It is almost today reaching to 4.5 trillion market, US trillion market dollar. So you can understand it covers wellness tourism, it covers wellness real estate, it covers traditional and complementary medicines, it covers preventive and personalized medicine with public health. It also covers healthy eating, nutrition, weight loss, physical activity, that is the whole exercise, or we can say the training and that bodybuilding centers, spa as a whole, and there are a lot of things like personal care and beauty and anti-aging. This all is the overall sector of the economy which talks on wellness in a different form, and that is why this industry is not like a consolidated on a one terminology. If you want a data, you will not get a data very clearly because this is divided into number of ways. So the data is like this is self-indicative that the world is looking at this particular sector at a very promising into the coming years. I am talking more on traditional complementary medicine, where we say in a global, this is 2021, a little bit this is higher side of this year. This is indicating that it is already what predicted. It is even higher than that prediction. So in that, the US is covering entire 31.65% of the market of nutraceuticals. So this is a, we can say, a wellness and nutraceutical industry or herbal don't compare or don't cater it into only one identified sector. It is well divided into different way. Now, if you have one material, if I have one ingredient, I can also, that ingredient can promote it as traditional and complementary medicine, can also promote it in my tourism, where I'm giving it in a packet form like a tea, which is going in a wellness and tourism. I can also promote it in my physical training centers. I can also promote the same material, which is ingredient of nature, natural ingredient, can be promoted as eating and nutritional weight loss, and the same can be also promoted in the personal care. So like a one ingredient can be we can say promoted in a different way, where you feel that that ingredient can be fitting, and that's we can say uniqueness. Like in case of pharma, like paracetamol cannot be promoted as a wellness product. Like for example, acetaminophen or antibiotic is antibiotic. It can be prescription product only. But at the same time, when I am having curcumin, the curcumin can be promoted as a wellness product. Curcumin can be promoted as traditional medicine product. It can be promoted as a way we can say healthy eating product. It can be promoted as a personal care product. So you can understand a one product, one ingredient can be kept in a different form, and that's the uniqueness you have to understand when we deal or when we understand this particular sector as a large. This is also the same data. Most of the people, which are the companies, people are saying that which are the companies on the global platform working on nutraceutical. The biggest one is Danone, about nutrition, Amway, Yakult. We can say Nestle is a very big giant. DuPont, we can say GlaxoSmithKline, Monster Beverages, BASF. There are so many lists. Is very big. We sometimes don't know even these companies are working in a nutraceutical sector. But overall, I am saying that this sector is in Indian context. When I am talking, we talk more on Ayurveda rather than nutraceutical. So our companies may be like Dabur or Patanjali. We compare with that, but that's not the, we can say that's a different we can say perspective. Globally, people are looking at nutraceutical, while in Indian context, more we talk on the Ayurvedic or herbal medicines. Now, when we talk on Indian market or Indian, we can say context, the Indian nutraceutical market, its growth is driven by the increased health awareness and pulled back of by consistent protocols. Inconsistent protocols. We don't have very clear protocols for understanding it. We have a lot of AYUSH is also fighting. Indian nutraceutical now FSSI is also fighting. So there are so many things are in parallel. But overall, if you see, the important part is the how it's growing. It's growing at 21%, even faster than the global. The reason is the affordability is increased. We can say payment capacity is increased, purchasing power is increased. So we can understand that by within a 5 years time, it is the Indian industry is growing from 4 billion USD to almost 10 billion USD, and we are almost predicting that we will cover up the 5% of the global average. So we will have the 5% of the total market. At present, we are at 2%, but by next 3 to 4 years, this industry is looking at that it may get around 5% of the total market. What are the driving factors or what are the restraining factors in Indian perspective? If you see, the driving factor is that rise of the well-informed urban population that forms the bulk of the, we can say, burgeoning middle class, key consumer of supplements. Like this, the middle class has a more higher salary now, and due to that, that they have affordability to look at their health. Then increasing consumer focus on preventive. As I said, people are now afraid with the disease. Like Corona has made us compel that in the morning, everyone in the home is drinking some, we can say, extract or concentrate of like pepper and ginger, and we can say they all have started. The reason is that we don't want to go towards that particular disease, and to avoid it, we boost our immunity. So that's the concept why it has been inculcated, because people have now uh, feel that only prevention is the option. Then growing disposable income of the middle class and rising incidence of lifestyle disease. As you know, most of the people are now under the worry at after the 45 that whether I will be diabetic or hypertensive or cardiac ailment or something which is a long lasting. And that we have observed that many, we can say, corporate or many high income or high salaried professionals are under that trouble. We have seen depression, nutrient. There is a, we can say, recently after all the success, we have recently seen Sushant Singh case, that it is a case of a depression, and that's a lifestyle disease. It's not a disease. We never classified it as a disease in an Indian context. It's one of the very global problem which we have avoided since many years. Similarly, restraints. What are the constraints of this field? Is that no clear guideline differentiate nutraceutical from pharmaceutical, that we are coming to, or we can say nutraceutical from the AYUSH products. Then irregularities in guideline for registration of the nutraceutical and product packaging. How to register the product? There are a lot of issues are there. High product prices to recover R&D cost, and the cost of the product is too high. For example, the profit margin, and it is not under the drug price control authority like National Pharmaceuticals are under the DPCO, and that is why they are controlled by the government for their pricing. As far as nutraceutical product till date, it is not under the control of the we can say government, and it is out of the like a uh, out from that. So the particular manufacturer can take the profit as per the need or as per the market demand. So that's the reason many times the cost of the product is very very high. Second is no concrete initiative in the form of subsidies to market. Like we don't have any specific policy which is government has given. There is a policy for food. There is a policy for, we can say, pharma. There is a policy recently being launched for the API, but we are not seeing any specific policy for the nutritional ingredient, and that is why it is still under the confusions. So if you talk as a product portfolio point of view, then all the nutraceutical health products can be like plant, algae, fungal, bacterial, and its extract, amino acid and fatty acid products, synthetic duplicates of the substrates of all. For example, like we can say a synthetic duplicate of curcumin you are developing, or anything which is having the same structure feeling. Then also it is coming like traditional medicines are also a part of the, we can say, nutraceutical now. Then vitamins and minerals and probiotics and prebiotics. These all are coming under the one, we can say, umbrella. Out of that, if you talk about herbs, then herbal products are like herbs, material, their preparations. They all also like coming as a botanicals. So in case of Indian context, we are understanding it as a Ayurvedic medicines. But at the same time, if we talk about the global context, people are talking on this particular segment as botanicals. They are considered as a botanical products rather than nutraceutical products. But the term of a same, we can say, compound, or term of a same, we can say, a category of the product differently being we can say mentioned in the regulatory perspective of each country. For example, if you talk about this health supplement or dietary supplement, they are termed in Canada as a natural and non-prescription health product. If you talk about in the United States, they are known as dietary supplements. If we talk about in the European Union, they are known as food supplements. Their traditional medicines are separate. They have kept, European Union has kept traditional medicine and food supplement completely separate. In Russia, they are known as biologically active supplements. In Japan, it is known as foods with health claims. And in Australia, it is known as complementary medicine. So you can understand the way this particular segment is how complexly defined. It's not like a ICH guideline for the pharmaceutical where one product can be registered in India as well as in United States in the same paperwork. Here, one product is registered in India is different way, and in the same product, if you are registering in United States under dietary supplement, then you have to understand the GRAS, you have to understand the RDA, you have to understand differently, and that's the reason that the application and the formats are completely different. And okay, they are more lenient. I can say that their registration is not that much complex like a pharmaceuticals. Due to that, it is easier to register the product. compared to pharmaceuticals, but you have to understand the regulatory environment of that particular country before going into this field. Now here, the approach is how that approach is being observed, and it is like a approach of cure and prevention. You have to understand we are making many time mistake that sometimes the curative pharmaceuticals are considered as nutraceutical. For example, Ayurvedic herbs or traditional medicines. We say Ayurvedic herbs are treating the disease, and when we take about the concept of treatment of a disease, then it is a curative approach. Then this is not considered completely under the one umbrella of a nutraceutical because it has a cure. It is just like a pharmaceutical. So their traditional medicines are more nearer to pharmaceuticals. At the same time, when we have a preventive approach, we talk about food, which are coming as a preventive approach, and we talk about the health supplement and nutraceutical under the preventive care. So you can understand this square very interestingly, and we can say this is more natural on this side. It is more natural on this side. It is more like a man-made. So we consider that this segment is a much more like a man-made. Like I'm using haldi since many years, and I'm converting haldi into the curcumin 95%. That I have made a man-made change on it. Due to that, the segment is considered as nutraceutical, is not considered as a food. So this is the way you have to differentiate these two segments. So this is, I think, made it clear. Here we have treatment. Here is a wellness is a concept. So when we have a treatment, more is a motivation. Like you have cancer, first you are fearful, then you have a disease as a already on your desk. So you have to understand the disease solution which is available. Then consumers need is what the consumer itself is not a consumer. Doctor is a consumer which decides the consumer's need, and it is directed as a purchase. It is not like a particular consumer is directly able to take this particular pharmaceutical product. He has to get the prescription for it, and the safety and efficacy both are very important in this case. While when we talk about wellness, it is much more on a hope side where we say preventive approach is there. You will not be diseased, but that is not calculative. You can't calculate it. You can't get the judgment that because of this particular nutraceutical I'm taking, I'm not getting a diabetes or I'm not getting hypertension. That is very vague, we can say, claim. So you can't do such type of claims, and that's the reason it is always on the hope base. Enhancement benefit, it can have enhancement benefit. It can like a consumer wants it. It's not like a doctor, or sometimes it is not directed by purchaser. Yes, somewhere the doctor can have advised, but mostly consumer is purchasing the product. Selected purchase, it is based on the selection. It is more on experience and convenience, more on like talk by the surroundings or peers who give the information to them and they purchase the product. So this is the way it is differentiated. So you may understand that there are three parties into such a consumer aspect. The first part is the product meets the consumer satisfaction directly, like taste, organoleptic character, and second part is valued. Second party is the endorsement of the product by the friends and media, like some friend or some media is saying that this product is excellent. You can use it, and that's why people are purchasing more. Like we can say, suggested by a peer. And third party is like FDA giving some guidance. Some international journals are giving this guidance, some research papers are giving the guidance, and these research papers are becoming the credential that this product has some strong evidential benefits. So this is the three party type of thing. While in case of pharma, it's only FDA is governing everything. FDA is approving everything, and the consumer is getting at the basis of the FDA is taking entire responsibility of safety and efficacy of the product. So this is you have to understand that this is a differently being driven. These are the top 10 trends. I think many people have that in the morning. Rajesh ji has discussed that there are so many industries are there. What are the concepts going on at present? And these are the top concepts going on in the, like these are 2015 data, but almost the same concepts are going on today also in the same way. Maybe numbers is over above and all, but in Indian context, these are the same number. Like first concept is going very strong foundation that is naturally functional. Second is the paradise to startups like snakification. Today, the healthy snakification is the very important thing for the startups to think of because it's easy, accepted very fast, and most of the time I have not seen major failures when you are launching a snacks. You see many companies who have launched the snack, they run their business comfortably. So that's the indication that failure rate is very less. Then weight wellness is one of the very important topic for the entrepreneurs. Like today, weight management is one of the key area where we have to work on. Protein, because nowadays the more towards like after this all bodybuilding and all the we can say new brand ambassadors, that most of the people are looking at their functionality as like building the body or something like that, and that's the way the protein is very fast in growth. Then good carb, bad carb, dairy, sugar, that's free from sugar, or we can say better dietary sugar. Then free from, that is, you can say free from pesticide, free from yeah, synthetic colors, free from something like we can say preservatives. These all are the concept which is growing very fast, very strongly. Then again, fat management, trans fat, regular fat, saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, MUFA, PUFA. There are so many concepts are going in fat. And lastly, digestive wellness, where the Indian context we are having a lot of opportunity, that in India, most of the herbs which we say, they have a very interesting digestive wellness efficacy. Like senna, we can say isabul, we can say, and that's a very important area, that trend growing in top 10 concepts. Now, when we talk about the pharmaceutical and nutraceutical, when we balance it, expanding scope along with the consumers and patient pathway, you have to understand healthy, at risk, aware, undergoing assessment, diagnosed and stable, facing, we can say, deterioration or complication. This is the way we can say the entire pathway of the majorly consumer looking at in case of pharmaceuticals. But in the case of today, most of the pharmaceuticals are going at like consumer good companies. They think that they will be diagnosed and then stable and then facing the deterioration or the complication of their chronic conditions. While in case of tomorrow, we can say that what future is looking at, that consumer good, that they don't want to get at risk. So if you can keep them at healthy, that this side, then it is indicating that they will be preferring that I will not go at risk. I will not go towards the SS. There is there is no need of like tomorrow to think about that I get any permanent disease into me. So this is the way you have to balance this approach, and that's a unique concept going on. And there is a huge scope of innovations, like we say in case of pharma development, and when we say product development point of view, today FSSAI has I'm coming to those slides, that FSSAI has given a very emerging we can say opportunity to every sectorial people who are involved in this business, that you can add all the herbal extracts or the products, around 400 products that they've allowed, that you can mix with vitamins or you can mix with some nutritional supplement, and you can increase the efficacy of your supplements. And that's the big area where product development is possible. There is a ample possibility that innovations can be envisaged by addition of few of the extract which has a very strong efficacy, like immune booster, for example, and you are adding with certain vitamins and mineral, for example, gullo extract, and that a new product, and that gullo extract is giving you the more better, like ashwagandha extract along with vitamins can give a better result compared to alone ashwagandha or without ashwagandha vitamins. So this is the way there is ample possibility to mix up many concepts and create a novel products out of it. But yes, it needs a scientific validation, it needs a technical we can say documentation, it needs a better database, that whether that will create a synergistic activity or not. So bioactive raw material of supply, that is nutraceutical innovation and value creation and pharma development. So you develop like a pharmaceutical, but create such type of product from the heritage of our herbal medicine, then it will be a great opportunity. So broad definitions, I'm going a little higher. We have already discussed the entire definition point of view, what pharmaceutical and nutraceutical and food. But this is giving the idea that this is the side is the food and this side is the pharma. So you can understand functional food is more towards like a nutrition towards the food side. Core nutraceuticals are like a central part which covers like exactly in between the pharma and food. And medical nutrition is more like a product towards pharma side, which develop the product which has the specific solutions, and it's only available from the pharmacy. It will not be available from anywhere else. So this way, this entire sector to be understood. This is interesting. Like if you take that, most of the products have never reached in this sector to the complete life cycle. If you see, they all reach in an emerging stage. They are not on a declining stage. Many times we see many pharmaceuticals are on a declining stage when they convert into generic. Here there is no pressure of generic that tomorrow my patent will be off patented and I will convert. My many generic player will increase in the market and will compete with me. Here, once your brand is there, it will continue to grow. So the chances is that the brand will exist for long time. Like today we say Nestle is handling lactonine business since last 100 above 100 years ago, and still they are the major player. There is no competitor still to them. The reason is that they've taken that segment, which segment is having very strong fundamental. Potential growth drivers are there in Indian context. There are many potential growth drivers. We'll skip that, already we have covered this part. And there are a lot of opportunity. Like plant is one of the. I am keeping that part later on. We will see that how opportunities are there and what should be focused. This is very interesting slide. That when I am a API or nutritional ingredient, I am working on that. I need to understand my target product profile first. I have to make a TPP. If you are entering as a like opportunity you are seeing in this field, first understand, you identify your active ingredient which you want to promote, and you have to go with that profile according to the guideline of the FDA. You create your proprietary technology, make a platform technology which is a proprietary technology, which we say like a little bit with patenting or little bit with your trade secret, and make a rapid advancement process. That means the process should be such which gives a better result. For example, if you, for example, working on curcumin and you are having like USP grade curcumin with a very single step extraction you develop, then it is your core advantage. You create your platform and you deliver that product. Similarly, if you have like water soluble curcumin, I'm giving curcumin as an example just to get like idea and understanding that how you can work on, like you make a water soluble technology on curcumin. It is having very big problem of water solubility and bioavailability. If you add your technology and put it platform technology which can increase it, through the pharma concept you have added those technology that in pharma there is a nano is a concept, there is a, we can say, chelation is concept, salt making is a concept in API. If those concepts you are adding here and converting into the water soluble one, you have made a very interesting design. Second is the develop. That second part is the develop. You create your formulation capability, clinical, we can say, setup and scale up. Many times it happens that we develop many product. I have seen in my many friends who are in the academics. Uh, Many friends who are in academics, they have developed their product, but that products are like in a lab scale or very small scale, that in a 500 gram or 1 kg batch size. And when you go to the higher size, they don't have any part that they can make it a similar kind of a product, we can say prototype. And many times the prototypes are failing due to this reason, because there's not sufficient development activity has been done. And lastly, manufacture is the very important thing, that you have to see the raw material, because here the raw material is from natural product, natural raw materials. You have to identify from where you will get them, how you will get them. So there are so many things to be considered as to be focused when you develop any product through we can say nutraceutical concept. This is a broader classification. Like we have in India, dietary supplement is the major area where we work on. Functional food and beverages at present, like energy drinks, probiotics, yogurt, that all comes under the functional food. In case of dietary supplement, herbal product like Ayurvedic extracts, vitamin, chyawanprash, protein supplements, minerals, this all comes under the dietary supplement category. They are also classified in the basis of by form, that which form you are giving, like soft gel. They can be considered as a by application, by ingredient, by end use, by distribution channel. Sometime how you are distributing, sometime you are keeping it on mole. That is a different, we can say, specific on the counter kirana stores. Then it is a different distribution channel. If you are keeping it on pharmacy only, then the distribution channel is different. And the by region, that which region you are targeting, like you are targeting US, you are targeting Japan, or you are targeting Europe. These are different definitions we already discussed. I'm keeping one is homeopathic medicine here, because they are also considered sometime in herbal products. And at present in COVID-19, there are so many homeopathic products are also being promoted by AYUSH department, that you should use it, or preventive approach. There is a little bit confusion between homeopathy, that whether even they should be called as herbal or sometime in allopathic medicine. And that's why that particular segment is yet not well observed in case of a nutraceutical global products. Overall, these are the market trends. You have to work on farmer, trader, broker, to almost, we can say, retailer, and you have to talk to consumer. So from starting from the agricultural field, you have to go towards up to the consumer. This is the way entire cycle has to be observed. Earlier concept, if you say 2015 or 2020 concept, when we talk about, we have online pharmacies, we have online product distribution. So you now have much more easier reach to the consumer compared to we can say 90s and 65, or we can say before 20 years to reach to consumer is very difficult. But today in 2020, to reaching to the consumer with the right product is very easy, and that's the reason now this particular market trend is going towards this product. If the product is good, it will definitely run in the market. This is the recent regulation FSSAI I was referring to, that 2018 they've given opportunity to all the field, all the Ayurvedic medicines which are of Ayurvedic extract or the herbal material. They can be added or allowed to add it in we can say nutraceutical product. Earlier there was a restriction, so if I want to add ashwagandha with vitamins, I have been restricted that which ministry will give the approval. But now I can add, because this ministry has taken around 400 extracts you can add into it. So there are around we can say 8 different kind of products are allowed by FSSAI under the nutraceutical category, the broader under section 11, and that products are like we can say food for special dietary use, nutraceutical health supplement, food for special medical purpose, food with added probiotic ingredients, food with added prebiotic ingredient, novel food, specially food containing plant or botanical. So you can understand it covers entire range of product under the FSSAI, and this is to be explored. Yet it is not well being well aware about many manufacturers. But yes, slowly the awareness is growing, and many new products are being registered into this particular category. So these are the same 8 categories. We can like these are the factors. Now next again after this there is another one. Government DCGI has given one another we can say additional approval for phytopharmaceutical for pharma product. Like one we know AYUSH, which is Ayurvedic product, which is as per the ancient text. You are claiming and you are registering product as a Ayurvedic medicine. Another is the phytopharmaceuticals, where you register the product under the DCGI, and you are getting the approach that this product are well claimed, well studied for their toxicity profile, well studied for the clinical phase 2 trial. So this type of products when you are developing, now the government is also approving that phytopharmaceutical as a separate important category. So these are the certain guidance which is already being amended and given into the category of phytopharmaceutical by Drug and Cosmetic Act, and DCI is already started working. Now, when we talk about COVID-19 pandemic, only first line prevention is boost your immunity. As you know, we all have now understood that there is limitation of the we can say treatment, and due to that, I'm putting little bit on COVID-19 case that when we studied COVID-19 or it has started, only the first approach Ayush Ministry has given is the which government has also accepted the immunity boosting. And as far as immunity boosting measurement, when we talk, you have to take self care, and you have to start taking chyawanprash, you have to start taking herbal tea decoction, kadha, tulsi, dalchini. These all like clove, or we can say the certain medicinal plants are being promoted by the Ayush Ministry that you should start it. I also recommend that people already we were taking it. It is our in spices. Indian spices are we were known for the spice we can say heaven, or we were having the heritage of the all the spices in India is growing. Most of the spices in India are like exported, and they're well used in the world. So we are the spice country, and that's the reason this particular spices are being promoted as immunity booster. When we talk on Ayush protocol, you all are promoted that you take golden milk, like turmeric is well promoted because that is enhancing the immunity. And now the enhancement of immunity is also one of the question mark what we are looking as a immunity in COVID-19 case. So that's like we can say immune system. When we talk, it is acquired and innate. We are talking on innate immunity. Like you stop infection before it enters in the body. Our main aim of innate immunity is to develop. Acquired will take time because it will have the vaccine to be researched. Some we can say the possibility of the social immunity will be developed by small exposure to the virus. But at present our only option we have is the innate immunity, and how innate immunity can be controlled from the Ayurveda. This is we say it is herd immunity we are talking, that is very far. Almost it is saying that it will not be possible that by next 3 to 4 months we'll get the herd immunity. So it will another like 60% case when will be there in each we can say area. It will get the herd immunity, but still it is far. In Indian context, we talk herd immunity is very difficult because we are 130 crore people country, and it is very difficult in terms of when we talk about herd immunity is not in our head. Only the we have something in hand is the our traditional Indian traditional medicines with us. And these are all like we have the given by the Almighty, and we have our we can say Charak Samhita, or all these we can say Samhitas. They are given by the Almighty, and Dhanvantari God has given us that as a heritage. But unfortunately, we remained there only. We have not made something out of we can say novel concept after that. They were well before the humanity has started understanding the disease. We have understood the disease, we have understood the medicine, but we have not done any significant outcome or work further on it. And that's the reason that we are facing today, that our Indian medicines medicinal plants are less we can say famous than the Chinese medicinal plants. Rather, China has understood the herbal drugs or traditional medicine from Indian universities only. So this is the fact that we have not made good brands out of our own heritage, and these are all. Yoga is growing well now. Yoga is being become a global we can say platform with the effort of our honorable Prime Minister. But at the same time, there are Ayurveda, Yoga, Siddha, Unani. Homeopathy is not our science, but even though we are accepted the homeopathy, Tibetan and folklore, these all are like considered that these are the sciences which we need to. These are the plant material which we need to understand and deliver them. If you talk about Ayurveda, why the concept of Ayurveda is different than the all other, like we immunity is our top since ancient time that I'm putting here. That we have Rasayana concept, and these are the Rasayana concept are based on regularizing or balancing Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And we say this Vata, Pitta, and Kapha is nothing, but we want to say that we are basically our body is the five basic elements. It's from where we can say that our body has been formed, and these five elements are responsible for the different kind of health conditions in the body if they are becoming imbalanced. So the ultimate aim is that we want to balance Vata, Pitta, and Kapha type of principles in our body, so that it can give us the longevity and more healthy life. Rather, health is nothing like that. We can say that what is definition of health is Ayurveda has mentioned, not WHO even has mentioned that what is meaning of a healthy person. We have a very clear definition for a diseased person, but we have very limitation of that defining the healthy person. And that's the Rasayana is trying. That Rasayana is making our all these three particular principle into the we can say balanced approach, and it improves the immunity, it improves adaptogenic activity, it improves antioxidant enzymes in the body, increases that we can say it reduces the mutagenic DNA damage and DNA cholesterogenesis. It reduces lipid peroxidation, inflammation, oxidative stress, and it also increases the free radical scavenging antioxidant effect. So this is the way Rasayana drugs are efficacious, and due to that, today we have promoted in our this pandemic condition this Rasayana drug like we can say Galoi is a Rasayana drug, ginger is a Rasayana drug. These all are there. Are Ashwagandha is our Rasayana drug. So these are all like we have to understand this. This is a very important factor where Indian herbal industry can work and create a novel product out of it. This is the way there are a lot of opportunity, because this is the opportunity part that how the manpower will be required. Like when say Indian traditional medicine is there, but selection and identification is the completely a part where botanical experts and the agriculture experts is required. Primary screening for Ayurvedic claims we send we talk cultivation primary screening. We need certain pharmaceutical and science people who can understand phytochemical profile. They can understand the high throughput screening, and this is required a pharma background people. Then we require standardization, again a pharma people. Clinical trial, we want pharmacology and doctors involved into it. So you can understand in a one particular science when we talk, it requires the expertise of all the discipline people who are associated, from starting with the agricultural scientists to the top we can say pharma scientists to top a doctor. This all includes, then the product can be developed. So these are the things which is required when I'm putting into the market. When as a startup, if I am interested that I want to put certain product in the market, I need to understand that herbs, plant, mineral, animal, insect, which product I am targeting, We have to understand its agricultural resourcefulness. We have to understand from where my raw material will come and what is the quality of my raw material. You have to understand also good agricultural practices also. Then you have to also see the traditional knowledge, that who, from where base, which base of the traditional knowledge I am taking, or I am putting the product in the market, or what is the background or research activity done on that. Inventory and standardization, monograph and pharmacopoeia. You have to follow the pharmacopoeia. If it is Indian context, if it is the US context, you have to see what is the USP is mentioning about your ingredient. Last, you have to go for the good manufacturing and implementation and monitoring. This is all like looking to your one product. You have to do many first ground analysis, and on the basis of that ground analysis, you can think about the novel product development from this sector. This is the biggest, I have found the biggest challenge in my experience of like 18 years. I have found that the biggest challenge is get the best quality raw material. Other all things can be manageable. Nature cannot be manageable, because raw material is from the nature's gift to the to the humans, and due to that, that is not under fully control. And due to that, many times raw material supply of a good quality herbal material is the biggest challenge. These are the all products which are at present in the world being accepted. This is a global product. It's not like Indian context I have kept it, but these are global accepted product like digestive health. Senna is one of the Indian product. Ginger is Indian product. Cardiovascular, that is a garlic, centella are the accepted. Immune system, ginseng and astragalus. Still ashwagandha, moring, we can say. Still noni is also introduced. Still ashwagandha is also being accepted in this segment. So this is all like a overall, which are the products at present being every segment, how they have established as a raw material for different conditions. SWOT analysis. This is we can say only last two slides. If you take industry perspective and consumer perspective, that questionable products still exist in the marketplace. Industry perspectives are there. Unethical producers are there. There are so many challenges are there in the industry side that you cannot get the idea that who is genuine. Most of the time, people who are in my near sphere always ask me one question: that should I purchase this product? Is it genuine or not genuine? So that's the first question. Consumer point of view they are asking, and industry point of view, it is very difficult to identify which is genuine product and which is not a genuine manufacturer. So there is a one we can say part which can be like considered here as a sometime like very challenging. Then the another part is the only few product can be rightfully claimed in health benefit backed by the scientific evidence. Very few products are scientifically being validated, or they have conducted the phase 2 clinical trial or phase 3 clinical trial. So most of the time, weakness is that you don't have exact data when you are purchasing, that whether the product which is you are purchasing is having any scientific background or not. At the same time, consumer is also watching watchdog group and members of the medical community. Sometimes what happens that they get a fake information, and that fake information from the WhatsApp university become a standard information, and people are starting following from the next day the protocol of that. And that's the reason that herbal products are having that limitation, that consumer is able to take the decision directly. At the same time, there are a lot of opportunities also, where we say there are a lot of traditional and complementary medicine programs are going on, and there are a lot of awareness programs is going on. So people now able to see online that whether this product is genuine or not genuine, or whether this product to be, what are the care to be taken. And at the same time, there are stricter rules are required, because if you don't have strict rule and strict regulations of this handling this product, it will not able to sustain in the market. So it will be threat to the market. It will be considered as a gossips, that these products are gossiping products. Many times people are undermining this product by saying that there is no scientific evidence. So these products are just a marketing gimmicks. They don't have any specific we can say efficacy. And that because of many products, out of that few are only efficacious. And that's true also, that 90% products are just on the basis of the some we can say only a we can say advertisement background, or we can say strong we can say brand ambassador. Rather, 10% products are only those which are having genuine R&D has been done in the lab. So this is also a fact. So my last slide, take home message from my side, that disease specific nutraceutical and AYUSH product is the need of the time. You have to identify which disease you want to target. Clear discrimination between AYUSH and nutraceutical product is yet to be explored for regulatory perspective. India has the richest heritage of medicinal plant and yet not a global player due to unclear and poor scientific approach towards our traditional medicines. We have not yet done a proper global, we can say, clear scientific approach towards our product. We considered, as it is mentioned in Ayurveda, it is good, but we have to understand the world that what is mentioned in text, ancient text, is also scientifically developed. Next, conditions like COVID-19 has demonstrated to the world that when no medicines or cure, only preventive measures are the best available resources with humans, and that is only available from nature. So we should respect nature and try to remain with its principles. So that's also one of the part that when nature has created something, when certain conditions are there, we feel that somewhere these conditions are the new learning paradigms for the population. India has to take lead to develop at least known for one herb or product like ginseng. Like Korea is well known for ginseng. We have to think about amla, ashwagandha, or kurkumin. That which product we want to put it like an Indian product. So overall world we should know like we are known as IT professional. That India is the biggest IT professional we can say country. And same way we should be also known for such one product in the world. Industry institute has to dilute their boundaries and area of the new product development is required. New product development is very complex. Industry cannot do alone. They have to take hand with the institution to develop any new product. This is not like a pharmaceutical product where you can have industry only can do and can develop. Here you need a support of the institutions to develop the product. And scope is huge with herbal and nutraceutical industry. However, it is still underdeveloped in India. So the expertise of the multidisciplinary is still a need of the time. So you can understand that there are so many manpower is required, but this manpower is struggling sometime because still this industry is niche. It's not fully grown. So many times it happens that the manpower who is there is having experience of nutraceutical is getting the opportunity. So with this, I'm very thankful to Pharma Tutor that they have given me opportunity that I can deliver to you. I can connect with you, and I have tried my level best to complete in 1 hour. That giving the brief of this entire sector opportunities, and there are so many industries, small scale industries are working, and there are a lot of entrepreneurial chance available. This is my photo of my institution where we work and. Where I'm working. It's completely under the natural beauty. So thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very
Yes,
much for such wonderful information of herbal and nutraceutical sectors. Because this is,
yes,
I feel this is the key sectors where actually we can we can develop many things. We have potential, but we have to work on it, right?
yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes. So, sir, there are few questions came from the audience. So I will just take one by one. Some are from our side also. So first
Okay.
is how to start research in herbal industry by their own.
If they have to start research, first of all, I would suggest that first see that globally the ingredient or particular plant material availability is how much availability is there. Sometimes what happens, we are taking two endangered species into our work. So what happens that entire 10 years or 5 years timeline, we work on lab and we work on kilogram quantity, and then when start exploring that whether I can get 100 kg or 1 ton material, you will find there is no availability. And what happens then? Entire your research is at one side and your raw material is not available. So I would suggest every who is starting their research in this field, first see that what is the availability of that material, whether in your near vicinity you are getting it, and whether ample availability if you want tomorrow to develop into the next stage, are you getting or not getting? So that you are very sure that after 5 years down the line, if I am putting my efforts into that research, I will able to get and I will make it next level pilot scale up, or I can put it certain things into the faster way if I am getting a good result out of my research. Many times we
Okay.
start research on the fundamental that we don't see that availability of those materials. That is the lacking that everyone has to take it.
Right. Sir, next question is regarding jobs. So, how nutraceutical and herbal jobs in India? What are the opportunities are
See,
there?
this I would suggest that it is yet a not a well mature industry. It is going to be matured soon. So that at present the players you will find is like Himalaya or Dabur, where the people even who are recruited already, those who are on the floor, they have been there because of their interest, or we can say mostly from the background of Ayurveda, like that. But I'm suggesting as a pharmaceutical point of view, within the next couple of years, you will see that this industry will come with a big way. And I would say that think towards more on entrepreneurial side rather than job side, because at present jobs are there. I will not say jobs are not there. Jobs are there, but they all are in such a niche way that you have to identify. You have to be real expert of it. Unless and until you are not expert of the field, only by degree you will not able to get into the right place. So there are ample jobs available. There are ample companies are interested to hire people. But I have observed that many times our pharma graduates are not interested to join. The reason is they see that company is still very small. They have like a turnover of 100 crore or 400, we can say 40 crore or 100 crore reached. While when you see same opportunity in Toronto or some, we can say Kerala or some Sun Pharma, they are already reached to 1 billion industry. So what happens? The selection criteria point of view, I would prefer to go towards the larger scale companies, and that's the reason job sector is facing the problem. Otherwise, jobs are available, but with the limitations of we can say industrial. At present, they are not highly mature industry. This is the fact.
Right. Okay. Some question is came from the audience. It is a basic question, but I think it should be covered in this session.
Yes.
What is difference between nutraceuticals and pharmaceuticals?
See, I have already covered in one of my slides that it's the intersection. The product is based for preventive approach, not fully curative approach. When you are asking for 100% cure for a disease, at that time it is considered as a pharmaceutical product. But when I am saying that it's a product which is preventing the disease, or it is more towards the preventive side, but it has the look like a pharmaceutical, like it is in a form of capsule. I am putting curcumin, I am putting tomato extract like lycopene 5% or 2% into the form of a we can say capsule or a syrup or any we can say conventional pharmaceutical form. Then it will considered as nutraceutical rather than we can say pharmaceutical. So pharmaceutical is very clearly defined. They are basically very clearly mentioned for which disease they are meant for. While in nutraceutical, it may be having like it can affect to the 10 different disease condition. It may affect like it improving your vitamin C or vitamin particular flora. It can also like probiotics. When we talk about probiotics, they are all nutraceutical products because they are maintaining your healthy flora in the intestine and different regions. So this is the way you have to understand and you have to demand. They look like pharmaceuticals, but they are meant for preventive purpose, not for 100% cure.
Okay, nice. It is a very simple understanding. Hope everyone got that. Now the questions came from Mr. Meet Naik. That is how
Ah.
nutraceutical market can boost Indian economy in COVID-19 pandemic.
See, it has already boosted. If you see, data is not yet with us, but if you see that average use of, we can say, paper, long paper, and this cinnamon, or we can say clove, that has increased almost 30-40% higher in the consumer side. And this is self-indicative that even though people don't have choice, they have managed. So if you are giving, I have seen many products which are showing that immunity booster, even though they are not having been claimed, they have written immunity booster. So I would say that post COVID-19, we cannot say today, because today is the condition already arrived. But post COVID-19, at least consumer awareness towards this product will be, I believe that at least 30 to 40% higher than what was previous to 3 months back. Today everyone is knowing healthy today everyone is knowing about to use how to use the how to make a ukada or how to make a kada. This all is what indicating that now our awareness towards the product is increased significantly. So now post COVID-19, this will emerge as a new area, and we can keep the finger crossed that how the things will move further. Excuse me. Hello. Is it audible? Hello. Avajawaj? Hello.
Yes, yes, yes. I can hear you.
A little bit it is link is like disturbed. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear now.
Okay, so the question is on the screen. That interaction between ingredients used in mixture of herbal products. Many products are using mixer. One
Yes.
or two mixers are, yeah.
Yes.
So what are
Yes.
the precautions and what are the industries doing for that?
Actually, industry is not checking this much. I would frankly speaking, when we are making two ingredients are mixing, compatibilities are like check. In case of pharmaceutical, we have a clear guideline how to check the compatibility between the two ingredients. But in case of such natural ingredients, if they are a purified ingredient, you can check that content of that ingredient into the different stability testing. But as far as when it is a raw herb, or we can say a mixture of extract, then it is very difficult, and I don't think so any industry is working on it that they check what is the compatibility between the ingredients. So I would say that it is really a matter of a big research at academics, that whether they are having any particular interaction, like phenolics are always having interaction with basic compounds. So if you have like compatibility, you are not checking, it may have a new product is developed and you are not getting the idea that whether it is efficacious or whether it is having a safety issue. So it's a correct question, but as far as the pure compounds are concerned, you can check and you can control it, but very difficult when you are doing it with multiple ingredients of raw material or raw herb.
Okay. And next question is came from the audience that which are the latest examples of nutraceuticals in India?
Latest example, I could not like put it in like there are so many products day to day coming in the market, and they like in what terms the examples are needed, that has to be watched. But yes, I would say most of the products which are coming with the new brand names, there are so many brand names are popping up. You can go through them. You can see them from Amazon, because Amazon will give the idea. If you put it all the nutraceutical products you can get which are coming new, what are the reviews on that product, you can go through it, and you can select whatever you would like to choose. But I would say Amway is doing whatever product which are you are seeing in Amway platform, that all are like a like we can say blister, or you see that their protein drink, all the products which are coming, they are under the nutraceutical category. You have seen that many pet products are also coming in the field of that. You can go in any pharma, that any pharmacy, if you have visited, you observe there is even a pet area nowadays. So that's also a nutraceutical products only. If you see the pet food, even though you can see all the has big, we can say muesli, kind of like a big protein drinks available every place for bodybuilding, that all are under the nutraceutical category.
Okay, great to hear. So that's all from the question answers. Okay,
Okay.
and with that, I am concluding the session. I think
Yes.
everyone had a informative knowledge about nutraceutical and herbal sectors. I hope everyone received proper knowledge about it. I want to thank Dr. Acharya sir for giving us in-depth knowledge and giving us time actually during this period. And finally, I want to thank our super audience who made this session interactive, and we shall also provide feedback link to registered viewers on their mails in 1 or 2 days to receive their certificates for this event. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe this session. Thank you all, and we shall come up with such a sessions in next week also. We are coming up with the such informative sessions. Okay. just you can write us whichever your queries are there. You can write us directly, and we will forward them to the sir. And I'm very much sure that sir will also happy to answer your
Yes, yes,
queries.
yes.
Okay.
Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very
Thank you
much,
all of you.
Rajesh ji.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
giving the opportunity and making this event and making that availability and allow me to share my thoughts with the audience. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you, sir.